An interesting piece in Mail on Sunday today. Theresa May is coming out saying, "Back me, or Brexit won't happen." Apparently, this is after taking advice from Donald Trump, of all people, about getting harder with Brussels. Yeah, I don't get it either. First off, if you're going to take advice from Donald Trump, you deserve every bad thing that's coming your way. The man is a moron. He's bankrupted himself 6 times. He's facing God knows how many court allegations right now. At least 19 women are following him in court for sexual assault and rape charges. That's not a small deal. And some of those numbers go as high as 49. They're not all public record, of course they're not. It depends on the individual person, what they feel comfortable with. But he has a long, long history of sexual assault. He has a long history of being a racist. And he has a long history of being an absolute moron. So why would you take that idiot's advice? But that's Theresa May in a nutshell. He spends the whole morning bad-mouthing her, and then she still holds his hand diligently. He spent over a year insulting the UK, the NHS, the Mayor of London, and yet she still bends over to kiss his ass at every single opportunity, praising the moronic child every chance she gets. It's moronic. But going back to this this Brexit deal, yeah, okay. So in the last 2 years, she's not been working. She and her cabinet have not been working on the no deal situation. Unfortunately, that's evident right now. There is no option for no deal. So all these people who've been defending Theresa May, saying, "Oh well, she's doing stuff. We don't know, but she's doing stuff. She must be." No, actually, it turns out she's not been doing anything other than making her husband an extra few million. That's where her priorities have been. Now we get what she proposed at Chequers. We get the full thing that we can go through rather than just the cliff notes. And it's no better than what I said before. It's still rubbish. It's still pathetic, and it puts the UK in a much, much worse position. So we essentially have one of two options. We can either stay in the European Union, which is a possibility. That is in Article 50. We can stop the leave and remain part of the EU with all the powers that we have right now. Or we can be part of the EU and have absolutely none of the powers, none of the voice that we have right now. And yeah, we still get all the benefits, we still get all the protections. Some people I've seen have said, "Well, we're a civilised country, we're not just going to get rid of workers' rights." Fuck off! Have you not been paying attention to anything this government has said? Conservatives are constantly saying they want to get rid of human rights. We now have the leader of Brexit who's laughed and joked, saying that he's made life harder for people. That he's constantly said that he wants to get rid of workers' rights. I'm sorry, but if you haven't worked for a company that would happily take away your breaks because they're no longer a legal requirement, then you clearly come from a lot of money and haven't actually had to work. That's just the basic facts of things. I mean, hell, I've worked in factories, I've worked in sales, retails, social care. I've done a little bit of everything. And in every single sector, I have known at least one company that would gladly have you do a 40.5-hour shift without a break if they could get away with it. And a lot of the times they still try to get away with it. So no, we need workers' rights, we need human rights. They are more important than ever. We are on a little island controlled by people who want to get rid of that. We need those protections. But we still have, if we stick to this deal, we're still going to have all the negatives that come with the EU, except we're not going to have the voice to actually stand up and say no. The biggest criticism you can make, which is a fair one, of the EU is that they dictate the things that happen. Well, they don't dictate what happens in the UK, but we are, the people at least, are forced to abide by those rules because we keep sending people like Nigel Farage over to Brussels who has no interest in representing the people, and that is where it failed us. It wasn't the fact that the EU demanded this, that and the other. It's the fact that we kept sending idiots like Farage over who didn't bother going to the damn meetings to actually represent the people. And that's why it failed for us. That's why we didn't get the best of the best, because we kept sending people who were more interested in having a paid fucking vacation than actually doing the job. The notion of fall behind me or Brexit won't happen, quite frankly, is an incentive not to fall behind Theresa May. Now, for everyone that still wants to leave the European Union, we could very easily get a different government in and then trigger Article 50. If that's still what people want. I'm on the fence about calling another referendum vote because people made their vote. It was down to them the first time around to actually look at all the factors. But the deal that Theresa May has put forward, after all the debates are done, after both sides have had their say, is much, much worse for Britain than staying in the EU, because there's no alternative to it. There isn't a backup plan, and we are losing our voice in the EU. Still get the benefits, sure, but we've lost what people supposedly voted to keep.